Hello the bikers. So today I'm in Auvergne, France, about 750 kilometers away from home. I'm visiting my partner TRC Racing. It's a big day, the D-Day. I'm coming to pick up the new rally bike. I represent the preparation on the motorcycle, and I will do this in the form of an interview with the manager of TRC Racing, as well as in-house mechanic Julien. Hello Robin, can you please introduce yourself?
I am Robin Charbonne. I am an importer of the Kove brand and particularly of the 450 rally model. We are also in charge of the Kove rally team. We give a lot of support to the Chinese on that. There is Julien who is there, who participates and is on the rallies. He takes care of all the technical part. We also take care of the logistics and other things for them.
How long have you been working with the Kove brand?
With Kove it started at the Dakar 2 years ago with my father, who had met them in Milan. He got on well with the Chinese team and offered to help them on the Dakar. For the Chinese it's a bit new to go and venture into this straight away. There are a lot of things to know, you have to have a lot of experience. So he gave a helping hand the first year when they brought 3 motorcycles that were factory model and stock setup. The 3 motorcycles went to the end of the Dakar with positions around 45 to 50, but the 3 motorcycles arrived at the finish.
So when you say you help the Kove team, it's official Kove team?
Exactly, it's the official team with the 4 official riders of the team. We have Niels Therick, who is a French rider who rides for Kove.
So your team is made up of people who work on the official competition Kove motorcycle. And these same people can also prepare your customer motorcycle?
Exactly, they prepare the racing motorcycles for the official riders so they can very well do it for private or professional customers.
You are an importer. You have already sold many motorcycles. But you have professionals amongst your customers.
Yes, so I was saying that we have a clientele almost exclusively of professionals because we are an importer, so we sell to distributors. Today we have about 30 dealers in France. We also take care of customers in Belgium, Luxembourg. In Germany there is no importer at the moment, so we are the ones who supply the motorcycles, as well as in many other small countries that do not have the capacity to import these motorcycles and who want to have access to our stock of spare parts and our rally skills and our experience on motorcycles. We also have quite a few professional rental companies in Morocco who each have a fleet of motorcycles. There is one called Terra. He has a fleet of 10 motorcycles. They do not all have the same mileage, of course, but those that are around 35,000 kilometers have not done a piston, and there is no need to do it. Honestly, these are motorcycles do not require a huge amount of maintenance. There is 1.7 liters of oil for both the engine and gearbox with a 6-speed gearbox, so it helps to preserve the engine well. The engine is a Zonchen base. These are very strong engines that may not prioritize ultimate performance but are made to have great durability. 4 parts, for a piston kit we are around 180 euros, so I mean even if tomorrow there is one to do, it is not too expensive. All the prices of the spare parts are online, so you can see that the spare parts have an acceptable pricing compared to competitors.
Here you are not in front of the motorcycle you prepared for me, but a stock motorcycle. Can you tell us a little more between the 2 variants before the detailed explanation from your mechanic?
In fact, you always have to start from a homologated base, the standard model. The factory as such is not offered because it does not come with papers, while it has a lot of things that are similar to the standard homologated model. So this is a Euro 5 model, soon to be Euro 5 Plus. They have passed the new standards. Apart from the skid plate, it is 100% original, and from this motorcycle you can make a preparation like what is done on yours, a pack at around 8,500 euros depending on the options you take. With this preparation the motorcycle is ready to go on any rally, whether it's the Dakar, the Rally du Maroc or other. There is absolutely everything you need. Here we will show you, compared to the original motorcycle, a little bit what has changed without necessarily going into details. If we take the original factory, there are a lot of changes with this motorcycle. For example, the exhaust. The ECU has been reworked. With our experience in rally, we realized that the original titanium exhaust for the factory was not as efficient, so we developed an ECU and an exhaust that is specially made for the rally, a skid plate, because the exhaust was still quite exposed. We also developed a system that allows you to do both factory and standard assemblies, so if we compare the 2 motorcycles, there are also a lot of parts that are changed. There is a simplified harness on the factory motorcycle, so that is the original harness. There is the airbox. We put a reinforced clutch for racing, which is not necessarily a necessary, but it is a plus. There is everything that is the original Euro 5 exhaust that is kept. So here is the preparation. It also includes in this price. That is to say, we can go back to a completely original motorcycle and possibly sell its factory kit. After the rest, these are spare parts. There are air filters, brake pads, a pair of footrests, a brake disc, a chain slider, gaskets, wheels, etc. After, in terms of performance, as I said, there is a performance kit with an airbox, an exhaust, and an ECU that is specially made for rallying, which is enriched in the revs, which allows not to damage the engine and to have a lot of performances from 60-100 revs. Below, the motorcycle is quite linear. It is not the torque that we are clearly looking for on this type of ECU. It does not yet have all the equipment because Fred wants to make a personalized saddle, a decoration kit, etc. We can see that there is a Scott steering damper, a support, and the carbon tower.
Also, everything that is original display and key, I no longer have this.
Yes, that's it. We left that because you want to put a USB port, but we also have the fork yoke as it is on the factory to remove the location of the ignition switch. Afterwards, we must also say that on the other hand, at the level of the original motorcycle and the factory, unlike other brands, there are many parts that remain identical. The wheels, the engine, the swing arm, the frame, the fuel tanks, so I mean the factory is not completely another motorcycle, it is an improvement of the standard model.
For the suspension, you also improved them for me.
That's it. Yes, we improved the suspensions for you, and when you have done about 10 hours we will do the total preparation for the fork. There is no need to put a complete new fork on this motorcycle. The original one already works very well.
So there are quite a few other small parts that you did not list, because the list is very long. For example, we have the rally tail light above, the CNC aluminum water pump.
There are lots of small parts. Then we have a complete list. If you ever want to have a quote to prepare your motorcycle, you should not hesitate to contact us on the Kove Racing website. There is an online form, our email, and phone number. Do not hesitate to contact us and we will give you a precise quote, knowing that in the €8,500 kit there are lots of parts that are not mandatory. It's really to have the whole thing in it. There is a VX3 chain. We tested this chain in rally. It is a chain that is reinforced where we can do a whole rally even with riders who ride quite hard. So that is really not mandatory. We do the preparation a la carte. There are things that are still mandatory, but we can easily reduce the price by around €1,000 on the rally preparation.
There is also a slight weight reduction because we moved to full ABS system, for example.
With the factory harness we also lightened the motorcycle a little because the harness is quite lighter than on the standard model, as it is much simplified. In the original exhaust there are two catalysts. There is one here and one here. With the preparation they are no longer there, and that is heavy. There are lots of small parts that are lighter. There is no longer the meter, so even if we add other things, overall with the carbon tower and all, that remains lighter also on the front part.
Thank you very much for this introduction. I will let your mechanic introduce himself, because what I really like about the approach of coming to TRC Racing for my motorcycle and not someone else is that they are really professionals. We will have someone who has prepared official motorcycles on the Dakar, on the Rallye du Maroc, preparing your own bike. Hello Julian. So Julian is the person who prepared my motorcycle. I will let you introduce yourself and explain us what you did on my new motorcycle.
Hello everyone, my name is Julian. I've been doing rally raids for 4 years. Before that I was in another motorcycle discipline. When I was 18 I did the junior team Suzuki at Le Mans. It's a school to prepare for competition. Since I've done all my career still in motorcycle competition. I've been working with Robin for 3 years and I'm starting to make motorcycles for customers. I'm Niels Tharig's mechanic. We do the Dakar and a lot of other small rallies on the side. I got to know the Kove in competition on the Dakar and the Rallye du Maroc because we prepared for motorcycles of the official riders. There are 2 French riders and 2 Chinese riders. I used a little of everything we learned in rallying to try to pass it on to customers like you and try to bring all the little details that we do on the motorcycles for the Dakar and all that, so that everyone can benefit from it. It's full of little details where we'll put Loctite on screws that we know will come loose, or shorten the fuel lines so that they are the right length, and we can completely empty the rear tank. Run the wires fairly cleanly so that they don't wear out. On the front of the motorcycle we developed a support that we weld onto the frame. it's a bit of a complex part of the preparation. This support allows you to switch from the standard fork head to the carbon tower, and it allows us to go back. It takes a little time to do it properly. Here we equip the motorcycle with a unique for tablet support, so it is really for the very latest navigation system.
So it has everything that is required for navigation as for the Dakar, the Rallye du Maroc or the Morocco Desert Challenge, which is the first rally that this bike will take part to. In terms of time, how long does it take you to go from an original model to a complete preparation like this one?
It takes me a good 2 days to do it right because I take it apart quite a bit. I grease everything that is bearings, swing arm rod and all that. I take the whole motorcycle apart except the engine that I leave in it, and then there is a big job on the harness too because I check it, clean everything, put the grease in it. It is full of little things and little parts. On this motorcycle we did the clutch, the water pump, all the little protections that you can find everywhere, and then there I try to check all the screws a bit, and there we really go all the way. We change the bar clamps, the headlight ballast and all that. It takes me 2 days to make a motorcycle like that.
So optically we have the impression that remains a bit like the standard bike in terms of look, but the front, even the plastic fairings have been changed. Can you tell us more?
Yes, there we even changed the fork head, so we have to prepare a complete set, and well, there I take new Zeus screws to allow to be able to switch quite quickly, and then I mount the skid plate. I put thermal protection behind for the fuel hose. The front brake hose we pass it differently. I pass it from the bottom rather than from the top because when we have all the navigation with the switches and all that makes a lot of wires, so that it makes one less cable and it looks cleaner in front. Then we redo the gas cables, and finally it's full of little things. For example, the wires under the battery box, I hang them underneath like that, there is nothing wandering around. I also install the performance pack too.
For the performance pack there are several ECU models. We have the choice according to what we are going to do and can choose from Enduro, Rally or the Kove one, as well as a twin air performance filter. There is also a Scott steering damper, factory handlebar. There are lots of small parts that have been replaced. I really invite you to go on Kove Racing website. So you are telling me that in fact the complete rally pack like this one is not yet online?
The rally pack is not yet online. It is on request. As I say, we have an online contact form, email or phone, and then we really make a personalized quote because there are elements that change depending on the rallies we do. Such a preparation, it's really a la carte. The bulk of the preparation, 80%, it's the same for everyone, but after even the exhausts we have other solutions that are less expensive for those who are a little less demanding. We know how to adapt, and the goal is to put it online soon, to list everything, explain everything so that it's clear and that anyone can go to the website and already preview exactly what's in the pack.
So the idea is that a person who finds the standard Kove a bit under power and who does the TET, for example, and he wants more power, he can do a kind of light rally style preparation to increase the performance a little bit without going full stream like I did.
For people who just want a little more performance, who want to go to Morocco or somewhere else, honestly the preparation will cost a lot less. All the parts are already online. What we generally advise them to put is a skid plate and a performance pack. There are 4 different performance packs. Then there is always a choice of an Enduro ECU which favors low and mid revs, and a Rally ECU which works more in the revs from 60-100 revs. We often offer them a 51 crown where the original is 49 so that it pulls a little shorter. As I said, the handguards and the skid plate are essential for us. We also have a more enveloping skid plate that will soon be released in 8mm for those who do a little more enduro with a slightly more extreme use. Honestly, with a preparation of around 2,500 euros, the motorcycle is already very well equipped. Here we put the most expensive performance pack that we have. It is 1,490 euros, which includes the airbox, the ECU, and the HGS exhaust line. With that performance pack, at the engine level, it works the same as your motorcycle that has the rally pack at 8,500 euros. After all, what changes is everything that is really linked to the rally, the navigation, and that is what is expensive because there are a lot of parts to change. There is a lot of time to spend on the motorcycle.
I had the privilege of being able to go in areas where normally public is forbidden, like the stock, for example. I was able to see all the stock that was there, from the small balls to full engine, a very large amount of ECUs being Enduro, Rally or the Cover or stock ECUs. It's really mind-blowing how much stock there is. There's a lot of parts in stock, It's listed on the website. Here on this website we can see all the standard parts, the performance part. Do you send only in France or also abroad?
We ship everywhere abroad today. There are many importers who do not have much stock of parts and who have not developed the accessory part too much, so since we have specialized really on this model, we try to bring updates every week by adding accessories and developing parts. We try to be the specialist in Europe for this motorcycle model.
Thank you very much for this presentation. It's the end of the year. I will only register the bike in early 25, so we'll do the break-in in 25. When I've done my first rally in the spring, the Morgodese Challenge, which is around 3,500 kilometers, I will give you my honest opinion on this bike. I'll be honest with you, until today I've not even done 100 meters of the bike, I've not ridden it at all. So once I've tested it in real rally condition, I will give you feedback. Thanks for your time and see you in the next episode.